Alright, time to get this party started. Oh, man! Oh! What the hell? Oh, you gotta be shitting me! Oh, man! What kind of asshole puts a countdown at the beginning of a live stream? Oh! Oh, okay, I see. That's how it's going. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Trailer Park Live, right here on the 2nd Street Marvel, where we're coming at you live every single Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or soon thereafter. Tonight we are going to do some call-ins. It's probably going to be a little bit shorter of a stream. I always say that, but tonight we're going to talk about Love and Thunder. If you would like to call into the show and share your feelings on the film, please feel free. I will probably put a post up here on YouTube on the community tab for channel members, and then after that, after we get a couple channel members, we'll probably invite some other people in here as well. We're gonna keep it short though. We're gonna keep it very short. I did get a chance to go see this. Now, normally what I do is I start off the stream by talking about some of the comic books that I read for the week here on the Trailer Park Live, but this week I did get my comic books read and everything, but that's not what we're going to be doing tonight, because I do want to be doing some of the call-ins with you all if anybody wants to call in and flap their gums a little bit about this film, because I think this one is very interesting. I think a lot of people are going to... Oh, what happened there? Are going to feel a lot of ways about this one. This is definitely, again, like, I think all of the films here in Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe all leave people, like, everybody out there has different feelings about them. And that's why I want to, like, I will reserve any harsh judgments of this film, or really any of them, based on that, because, you know, The Eternals, when that movie came out, for me, I was kind of like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, it's okay. But the more I've watched it, I've started to notice just little things in the movie, all these little Easter eggs and stuff that I feel is leading to other things. It's made me start to go back and build theories once again for things, and that was really largely due to the Eternals. I mean, there was some stuff from Shang-Chi, yeah, a little bit, but that we didn't know. But then you get here into the Eternals, and just according to theories that I have, I mean, it's like, oh, okay, like the Eternals kind of fits into that same thing, and I feel like it does its thing and leads to other stuff, and then it's got Ms. Marvel. I think this stuff is related. I think it's all related here. and then just kind of everywhere we're going in the MCU. Now that to me is one cool thing. Like I said, a lot of these films, the more you watch, like when you go through and watch them and look at for some of the little things that I'm looking for, some of them actually start to get a little bit more interesting. Certainly. And I think that's the same thing that could be said for all of these Phase 4 films, because to me, largely a lot of them, they haven't been the best. They haven't been terrible, just not the best. And this, and again, watching them on the rewatches, like picking all these little things out, like they're doing some cool stuff. But I think that's been largely my issue with Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far, is that it certainly does feel like a lot of these are just kind of to build stuff for the future in the MCU instead of where they used to be a little bit different. But anyway, that's just how I feel about it. Like I said, I want to wait till I see this a second time. I'll probably go to see it, try to see it again at the theater on Sunday maybe, and and watch it again. If not, maybe Monday or Discount Tuesday. Hard to say. But it's definitely one I want to see in the theaters again. I think, there's, I might take more out of it than I did the first time, because there's definitely some things that I want to go back and see in this film, that definitely play into theories that I've been talking about here on the channel for the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward, some of the things that they have been doing in that. But with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my raw, unedited review of this film, and then we'll get on here and I'll flap my gums a little bit more, and I will get, if anybody wants to call in and share their thoughts on this film, please feel free to do so. It will be for channel members first, and then we'll get into, we'll give everybody else a chance to come on and talk about this. But let's go ahead and get right into this. And this review will be dropped later on the channel. I'm going to edit it. In case you won't be able to tell, I did just film this today, but I haven't really watched anybody else's thoughts or opinions on this film, because I wanted to record my thoughts without hearing any of that. Now, I've heard people's thoughts on the film, but nothing like where they're like talking about the movie itself to, I guess you would say, alter my feelings about it, because I kind of feel a way about this movie. But let's go ahead and get right into this. What's up, everybody? Trinity here. So Thor Love and Thunder is now in theaters. I got a chance to see it on opening night. I guess not even opening night. It was on Thursday, right? Like, it's not opening night. It's technically Friday. But I got a chance to see it. I took my kids. I met my friend there. My wife went with us as well. Yeah, she was actually off of work. And so we went and seen this as a family. We usually go see it the second time with my wife, usually on like a Sunday or something like that. But she was there with us on Thursday night finally, and we went and seen Thor Love and Thunder, and that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. I will be getting into spoilers as well, so if you don't want those, I'll make sure that I let you know when and if I really get into any of those. I honestly probably don't even really have to get into any spoilers to give you my review of this film, which, spoiler alert. Make sure that if you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed, click the little bell and all that good stuff. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Give it a thumbs down if you don't. It's okay. Make sure you also let me know how terrible my opinions are down in the comments section. And hey, let me know yours as well, right? All right, so just let's go ahead and do that. So, make sure you hit that little bell too. But you got to click all, not just the bell. You got to click the bell and the little screen comes up, click all. So Thor Love and Thunder, here's the thing, like, Taika Waititi, there are some things he does so great. Like, one of the things I really like is when Ragnarok came out, like, Mjolnir really became a character in that movie. Like, I felt like Mjolnir was there and like part of the, was the action, and was like give us some of that. Like, it almost had a personality at that point, and I really do like that. And that is again here in this film, as we once again see Mjolnir is back and it's pretty cool, kind of how everything goes down with that. And we've also got Stormbreaker in here as well. And Stormbreaker kind of takes on a little bit more personality than Mjolnir, and actually kind of becomes a character, if you will. And I don't know, just some silly Taika Waititi kind of stuff. And again, Taika does something so great. That was one of the things I really liked about Ragnarok. That was like seeing Mjolnir in there, you know, like just seeing some of the action and everything. And it really felt like Mjolnir did more in Thor Ragnarok than we've seen in any of the previous Thor films or even any of the Avengers films. So I really like some of the stuff he does there. And some of the stuff he does cinematically is so great. There are some things in this film that I thought looked really good, minus the use of the volume, because yes, when I was watching this film, in case you guys don't watch me here on this channel, I haven't watched much of my content, the volume, the little sound stage or stagecraft, whatever they call it there, that like Lucasfilm has and they use for their shows and movies, and now Marvel Studios is using here as well. I'm not a fan of it. I really do not like it. It just it looks literally like they're shooting in front of a TV screen, which, if I'm not mistaken, isn't that what they're pretty much doing? Just shooting in front of a TV screen. I pick it out every time. It just doesn't really ever look great. Luckily in this movie though, there's actually plenty of things that happen here that actually look decent within some of the stuff they shot. But I don't know how much of this they shot in the volume, but there were some scenes in this film that I thought looked very good, even given with the volume and all of that kind of stuff, and my feelings on that. A lot of this is still very well shot. Like I said, and Taika Waititi does some great fun stuff, right? I like that. I do like that. However, I will say, in case you also don't follow me here on the channel and haven't seen much of my reviews or heard any of my thoughts on Taika Waititi, I can't say I'm a huge fan of I haven't seen really much of his other work, to be quite honest with you. But what he's done in the MCU, I'm not really big on it. Some of the things he does, yes. Maybe if he wasn't writing, it would probably be good. And maybe even if he had some oversight, somebody else had some oversight over him in his directing style and exactly what he's doing. And I guess my biggest complaint, though, with what he's done in overall is what he's done with the character of Thor, where he just kind of became this whole sarcastic sitcom humor Thor. You know, plenty of people out there like, oh, Thor's finally funny and everything, and you just don't like that. And no, it's not that. It's this whole, like I said, this whole shitty sarcasm sitcom humor stuff. I just don't dig it. I don't like it. The Office was the last time it was done even close to good. All right, that was it. But that's kind of the big thing I don't like about what he did with Thor. It's the whole sitcom. If I wanted to watch Community or Parks and Rec, I'd go watch it. But you know what? I don't watch it because I don't really like TV shows, and I don't really like the shitty sitcom sarcastic humor. Did I just say that 3 or 4 times right now? Seems to be a recurring theme. And that's kind of what Taika Waititi does a lot of. And it's especially apparent in this film, as we also actually even get some, not even cameos, I guess, but we actually get some actors in this film playing some small roles here. And this is Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone, her husband. And this by this point where you see them in the movie, I was already just sitting there kind of not entertained by this film at all. It just wasn't really it was just kind of, we'll get into more of that in a second. But by the time they came out, I'm like, well, this kind of explains things, because Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone, I think they're always kind of on the precipice of something maybe good and humorous. Everything falls flat on its face, and it's completely terrible. These people are responsible for some of the worst movies ever. and they're make a cameo in this movie, and it kind of lets me know, like, yeah, I'm pretty right on, like, where my diagnosis for this, in my opinion, is with the whole sitcom humor thing. And I'm sure Taika Waititi, I think, has some background in it. Hey, the Russos do too, but they seem to do good. But they also had good writers like Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, some writers who I feel loved the characters that they were writing, and they liked the stories that they were telling, and they weren't just out there using these characters to do whatever stupid sitcom, rom-com movie and get a lot of money from Marvel Studios and make a movie that seems like, you're just putting a skin, these character skins on, over Parks and Rec. That's what, over the same characters. That's it. Hey, we even got Chris Pratt in this, right? Anyway, like, that's kind of what it is. Like, I feel like this movie is a parody of a Thor movie. I feel like it's a parody of Marvel Cinematic Universe. And like by the time I've seen these people in this film, I'm just like, yeah, it's a parody. I'm not even sure if we can take this real. But, and that's just with a lot of those kinds of things. And there's other things that I really do actually like in this film. There are some great things. Like Jane Foster Thor, like I was pretty cool with it. Like I was like, I didn't mind it. The story and everything kind of going, yeah, cool, great. And there were some things that she did in the movie. Yeah, actually great. Like I said, Mjolnir. We've seen it in the trailer where she uses Mjolnir and it flies off in different pieces and all that stuff. Some very, very cool shit in this movie. Even Stormbreaker, out there just doing Stormbreaker things, I guess. Just some cool stuff. Valkyrie in here. I mean, I kind of wonder why she was in this movie. I mean, it was like, it almost seemed like a cameo role as well. But like I said, there are cameos from not from other characters, I guess, in this film. Most of them you've already seen in the trailers. But it's kind of beside the point, because I feel like, and I've talked about this a lot as well, a lot of these Marvel Cinematic Universe movies here over this last, I guess even the shows as well, here over the last couple of, like, I guess right after Endgame, have all seemed like they're just movies that are leading to another movie or something else going on. It's just leading to the next thing, because it's part of this big universe, multiverse now, right? And that's really what it feels like, just these things happening with, introduce, and here's the thing is, like, they're introducing some ideas and concepts and characters and things that I've got theories on that I think are very cool, actually really great. But the thing is these movies feel like they are all just setting up the next thing. Or if you go back to the Phase 3 films, or the first phase, 3 phases of films, they all feel like they are just standalone movies doing something, and you get that little bit of sprinkle of stuff going on that might play into the larger universe or not, just an open thread that they can use later, whatever, right? That was what's so great about them, standalone. Like, these all feel like they're just things going on to lead to the next movie, and this film feels so much like that. And it sucks, because I actually feel like a lot of the actors in this film did a great job, although I feel like, you know what? I'm going. There's a spoiler right here, just for a character. For a character that's in the movie. I wouldn't say is wholly unexpected, but if you don't want to hear what character it is in the movie, skip forward like 5 seconds from right now. Idris Elba, I think he just phoned that shit in. Anyway, he was in there. I'm like, what? Like, come on, man. Like, what is this? And, but other than that, I think a lot of the actors did pretty good in this film and what they were doing. I feel like everything that they did in this film, all the actors, I feel like all the work they did for this film kind of just got misused. Like, it got just put together in something that really doesn't make any really kind of comprehensible sense of telling a good story. I mean, it seems very butchered, right? It seems very butchered. And I don't know, like I said, I got done watching this film. It feels like a parody. It feels like a parody of a Marvel movie. Like, it doesn't even feel like I said, but cause it just feels like they're just doing some stuff in here to lead to the next thing, not to tell a good story here. It used to be, you know what, here, go make your movie, make it a good one, and I just need these things to happen. It's Kevin Feige. I just need these things to happen right here. Like, however you need to do it, and you can do whatever else, right? Because then, you know, you like those same writers could come back for the next movie if it's successful. They're all successful though now, right? And, you know, do something else. Christopher Marcus, Stephen McFeely, I'm telling you, go check these dudes out. We need them back in the MCU. We can boot Taika. We can get anyway. The actors did a good job in this movie, and you know, but again, it feels like it's all just a mishmash, and it all feels like it's kind of for nothing. And I wasn't really laughing, the humor or anything like that. Like, I didn't feel entertained. This feels very underwhelming. It feels very uninspired. And again, the biggest thing is it comes back to what Taika did with Thor, and he's just kind of the silly, sarcastic sitcom humor guy. And that's the thing, is like, he was funny before. You go watch the first couple of Avengers films, you go watch the first couple of Thor movies, he's funny in those movies, not just all serious. He's funny. He's just not sarcastic, you know, he's not sitcom humor funny, and that's what you like. And I don't like. I just don't dig it. Like, you know, like, let Thor be Thor. He don't have to do all the. He can still make jokes and do all, like, he can still do that. But like this, like I said, this whole sitcom humor thing, it just doesn't do it for me. But the actors did good in this film. That's what I say. Like, I didn't really like this film at all. Again, I feel like it was a parody of itself. But I imagine there's a lot of people that are gonna like this film. I mean, it's not like, here's the thing, is because like I was saying, I wanted to say at the start, is like Taika Waititi is kind of like, you know, like you could take and give somebody the same ingredients to make you a meal and say, here's what I want you to make, right? Here's what I want you to make is this, and you give them the same ingredients, you know, like those cook-off shows and stuff, and they go and they make the meal. And here's the thing, is Taika Waititi's meal, like on the plate, it looks great. You look at the other meal and you're like, it doesn't look so great. Presentation is, it's all right. I'd eat it. It doesn't look gross. It doesn't look gross. And then you eat it, and it's really, really great. But then you're like, okay, now I'm ready to take a taste of Taika's, right? Because look at this presentation. You got the, you know, all this and that, you know, proper portions, and you know, like, people look at that, right? Anyway, but presentation is a lot. Taika nails the presentation, but by the time you dig in and eat the meal, it's just bland. And you know, maybe some of the things here didn't need to be done, and maybe you could have added some spice and some flavor to this. And it doesn't feel like you did. It seems like all he did was maybe just added some sugar to it, and thought people would like it. And I'm sure some people do. I don't think it was a terrible film. It just didn't really feel. It felt like a parody to me. Like, I'm just sitting here like what's going on? But there were a lot of things shown and introduced and said in this film that were very interesting, leading into some of the future Marvel stuff. Again, things I have theories about, but altogether, I didn't really enjoy this film whatsoever. These Phase 4 films, while I can't say that there's any of them that I just really hate or dislike, a lot of them are just... you know, that's really all I can say is they're like, it's a movie. And that's really, like I said, like, it's kind of like when, you know, like when I stopped reading like Marvel comics, like a lot of them, it wasn't because they were bad. I never saw, like, it was just because, like, for one, there was other comics that I wanted to read that were more important to me. But the other thing is, like, they weren't bad, but they're just not good, you know, to me. You know, they might be good to you, but they weren't to me. And that's, you know, probably the reason I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll read them on Marvel Unlimited. Maybe I'll read them on Marvel Unlimited. But I don't know. That's just if you ask me. I didn't like it. Maybe when I go see it a second time, yeah, I'm gonna go see it a second time. Maybe it'll be a little bit better on the second watch. I don't know. But again, there's just so many things in this film that like just kind of, man, you know what? There are some things that I'm gonna talk about in a live stream when it comes to this movie. But altogether, I thought it was a movie. You know, it was a movie. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. I would recommend going to see this. Regardless of how I feel about it, I think this is a recommend. I think all movies pretty much are, if you want to form your own opinion on them and have, you know, an informed opinion and thought, I guess, is to go out and see them. If it's something that just completely disinterests you, I get it. And if you're really not into this movie just by the advertising and everything, don't go see it. I would suggest waiting, because even at this point, I'm kind of thinking like, man, am I going to go see Black Panther 2 at the theater? And that's it, folks. I kind of feel that way, like, right? Am I going to go see it at the theater? I don't know, man. Seen it twice. Third on Sunday. Nice, Mike Porter. Sweet. Yeah, I want to go see it. I want to see maybe if I can get out to see it again on Sunday. If not, maybe Monday or Tuesday. I'll probably go see it again though, for sure. Just say, I mean, most of these movies I go see multiple times, especially because, you know, I got theories and stuff that I want to talk about, and I want to, you know, kind of build upon, if you will, and see what's going on there with some of those things, because there's definitely some things in the film again that I think were really good. Again, thank you all so much for being here tonight. Make sure you thumbs up the video, share it out with your friends. Tell them to come hang out with us. Channel members, if you want to call in, I put a link on the community tab where you can come and call in and share your thoughts. If somebody comes in here, I'll bring y'all on. I don't want to go too long tonight, so if you got to call in, you know, try to keep it short. You know, like, hey, my review was 17 minutes. I know, but you know, like, we can do some call-ins and stuff like that. Check on the community tab for channel members. Go in there on the community tab. It's there. Maybe here in a little while I put it out there for anybody else who wants to call in here in just a little while. But we will definitely be getting into spoilers in the rest of the stream. So if you don't want spoilers, you know, I should have put that in the title. Huh? But we're gonna be talking spoilers. We're gonna be talking spoilers here. We're gonna be talking about. All right. Yeah, there's gonna be spoilers. Here, let me update the title on this thing. Let me edit this. Spoiler. There we go. Spoilers. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So nobody has to come in here and grind like, oh my god, you can. Well, or just, you know, like Jason earlier was here, and he's like, you know what, hey, like, I don't want spoilers. I'm gonna be out because I haven't seen it yet. Cool. It's not for people who just want to come in here and be babies. It's for people who are sensible too, right? So we'll put that in there. It's there. Here. There you go. Check that out. But yeah, if you channel members, if there's any channel members watching right now that want to call in, share your thoughts, you're gonna have to have Skype. You know, you can download Skype and do that whole thing. Yeah, and it's on there. The link is on the community tab if anybody wants to call in. But let's get here into your guys' chats and see what you all have to say about Thor, Love, and Thunder. Yes, Mike Porter. It should be on the community tab. Let me check. It should be on the community tab. I'm pretty sure I put it on there. Let me see. Yeah, community tab, Skype call-ins. Yeah. It's there on the community tab. If you go, look, I'm gonna cover it up so I know somebody will type it in. Yeah, it's there under the community tab. Yeah, see, Skype call-ins. There we go. It's It's on the members only. But yeah, it's there. Okay, so let's see. Let's see who all we've got here tonight. See, we got some great people. We've got my man Mike Just Me Porter up in the building. Said, oh oh, are you gonna shit on this movie too? No, you know what? And a matter of fact, I don't even know. Like Josh, I didn't even see his stream this morning. And here, like I think I got. Did I get in there? I can't even remember if I got. I did. I got in there towards the end of the stream, but like he wasn't sharing his thoughts or anything on the film at that point. He was just doing like like responding to chats. And I got in there at that point, and I kind of commented a little, but I didn't because I was trying to not hear anybody else's review before I shot my own, to hear what anybody else had to say about it. But yeah, and so I shot that earlier, but I was actually hanging out in Marvel Bros earlier, and it was the same thing. Like they were already kind of over like it was already an hour into their stream. They were already pretty much then sharing their thoughts on the film and doing all that stuff. So like it was like perfect. Like I just called in, just made some little comments. But yeah, so but yeah, so I don't know. I haven't heard anybody shitting on it. I've seen people on online and certainly on Twitter. Certainly on Twitter, I was being provocative. Oh yeah. But yeah. Yeah, Collins, Mike Porter, Obi-Wan the homie in the building. We also got Jason from Polyhedral Paradise, Star Wars MCU OG. All right, going to see it sometime this weekend with some guy I met on Craigslist called Myrtle, says Jason. Nice. Yeah. Sweet. Hell yeah. You better watch it because I heard that he hangs with Shomer Jason. Yeah. Yeah. The Shomer Chavez. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see how Stormbreaker was all in its feels. Yeah. That was like, that's what. Like that was when it got a little bit much for me, like it was funny the first time, but like then to keep doing it's kind of like, okay, but yeah, okay. So let's see, we've got Aaron here from Strange Marvel Theories with a 13-month super chat, member chat says, "What's happening, Myrtle Maniacs?" All right, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I think we've got a caller. Here. Let me see. I can't hear you. Are you muted, caller? Oh, there you go. I can. Yes, let me switch screens here so everyone else can hear you. All right, here we go. All right. I guess we probably don't even need to show that, really. Right there. There we go. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, man, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Long week. Busy week.
Is it?
Yeah.
I went to the mountains.
Oh yeah? Where
Yeah,
to?
I went to North Carolina. I went to the mountains for the 4th of July and for a few days. My wife has a friend that has they have a second house in a summer home in the mountains in North Carolina, and we just hung out
Nice.
there for a few days.
Nice. That sounds like
Yeah,
fun.
it was. It was nice, and it was a great view. We were basically on top of a mountain, so it was cool. But they knew that I had to leave because they knew on Thursday night that I had to be there for the premiere. I had to
Mm-hmm.
come home to watch Thor: Love and Thunder. And, of course, I was hearing the reviews and everything like that. And, I get there and I'm there with my sister, my wife, and my niece, who, my niece is in her early 20s, and I made a nerd out of her about 10 years ago.
Nice.
And we are loving everything, and I'm telling her, I'm like, hey, phase 4 is not hitting everybody, and she's like, what? And I'm like, I know, we're just eating it up, but not everybody's liking it, and then everything like that. And my sister, she's the kind of person growing up, you could give her a piece of lint for birthday and she would be like, oh, thank you, this was so thoughtful for you. So, we're just sitting there laughing like you said, that there's spoilers. We're just laughing at the screaming goats the whole time. We're just being entertained and everything. Um, you know, like I said, with uh, my review, you can find it on Twitter. With the humor, the rock and roll, the adventure, everything that goes with it. And then, of course, you have the darkness and the heartfelt and everything. So all the silly stuff that's going on gets balanced by by the character of what.
I think you cut out, Mike Porter. Oh, there you
Can
are.
you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. So I got to keep my phone going, or if it goes, okay, that's weird. Okay, all right. So, with the characters of God, the Gore the God Butcher, and the Natalie Portman's character, what's going on with her with the cancer kind of counter reacts of everything that is going on with uh with the silliness. You've got, I thought, was a perfect balanced movie. So we're leaving the theater just going, man, that was good.
Uh-huh.
So I leave the theater and I hear Green Bear hated it. Kendall hated it. They're on Twitter. They're doing videos, and
Uh-oh.
Josh Josh hated it. And and here's the thing: everything hits everybody different, and everybody is entitled to their opinion. But it is kind of a downer, you know, when you're excited about something and then, everybody is kind of down on it. And I
Right.
know Star Wars goes with that because uh, Star Wars Santa talks about it all the time because in his community,
Mm-hmm.
where I think where Star Wars, they're they're more passionate with their community, and I think I kind of with Marvel, I think I kind of uh have that kind of passion like Star Wars people do, but not everybody does that. But Star Wars people, it runs deep with them, and
Right.
with Marvel people, it comes and goes, and things like that. So I try not to take it personal, but it is kind of hard, you know, not to take it personal, especially when you think that you've watched something wonderful. And then I saw some reviews. I just stayed away because I just know that those people are usually negative on it. Now I
Uh-huh.
did see like the new rock stars or whatever, and then there was a few other people. I forget who they are, and they were very positive on the movie. But I understand, where you're coming from because you're not the only one. And as a matter of fact, today when I went and saw it for the second time by myself, um, I heard a gentleman you know, I live in Ackworth, Georgia, so sometimes you're going to get a redneck opinion
Uh-huh.
sometimes, and you could hear the guy. The guy says, "Well, that was a dumpster fire. Would you just please bring me back Iron Man and Captain America? I don't need all this." Because that was right after Jane Foster, it said Thor will return. Because my wife said, she says, it said Thor will return. It didn't say which Thor will return. My wife said that yesterday, and I said, "Oh, that's real smart.
Right.
That's a smart thing." She's right. We
Right.
don't know which Thor will return. Well, that guy didn't appreciate that. He's like, "You just bring me back Iron Man and Captain America and be done with it.
Get off
I
my
don't
lawn.
get off my lawn. I don't need this. I don't need this MCU." You know. So I mean, I'm like, well, whatever, dude. I, you know, I knew we were getting Taika Waititi. I knew from what we were seeing on, and I told people, I said, y'all know that this is going to be silly as hell. What? Are you guys going to be ready for a silly movie, because it's going to be silly.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I knew, when you saw the trailer and you saw screaming goats, giant screaming goats, you knew what we were going to get. And the fact that they did go, and I'm glad I didn't watch any of the leaks or anything, because they were saying, well, we don't know if we're going to, fully go with this run or not. The fact that they did go with the cancer angle, you know, I thought did kind of add depth to the story. I knew gore was going to add depth to a silly story, but the cancer, add even more depth, and it meant more to the romantic part.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on top of that, you're right. There's a lot of Easter eggs. There was some things right there at the end. There were some things that were straight out of the comic books. When he opens up that portal and you go to the realm, what is that? What is that guy at the end? That brings the daughter.
Oh, you mean eternity? Oh no, you cut out again.
Yeah, you know what? You know what? You know how your phone sometimes, if you don't touch the screen, it you have to. So I have to touch my screen all the time, or I'm going to cut out. It's
Huh.
really ridiculous.
That's weird.
Anyways, so it is weird. So yeah, Eternity. That was straight from the comic books, and I was
Yeah.
like, how could no one, like that? I mean, that is.
Yeah.
There was a lot of stuff
Eternity was
straight
cool.
from.
Eternity was cool as
Yeah.
hell. Yeah. When I seen that, I was like, dude, and see for me, like that's some of the cool shit that Taika Waititi does. Like, like, like I kind of feel about it. Like, let him direct the movie and do a lot of the shit. Don't let him write none of it. And definitely give him some oversight. Somebody be there to hold his hand and be like, no, 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 Taika, no, no, no. It's
And
okay.
and and and, and wasn't there some like celestial stuff there too? Like the statue or whatever that Thor, was w- was falling on the kids' heads, or and he stopped it.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a celestial statue or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure which celestial that is, but yeah, it was definitely one of the celestials there. Because like they had the celestial head there, they had the like the living tribunal, they had the Watcher. Obviously, Eternity was kind of there in the back. They had man, I can't remember. I think Death was there, Lady Death, um, and a few others that were kind of there, like they had there in that building. Yeah, absolutely.
So there's some really cool stuff there, and a lot of people are like, "Well, I just don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is going. I don't know where this is going." Well, I do remember that Kevin Feige said that he was going to do some self-contained stories. That there was going that something was going to happen, but he was going to do self-contained stories. And what I have seen is, you've got the cosmic, where you've got that going on, that that there is some links there, that you can link that to many different things and many different projects. You're also talking about, you know, with Loki, and all that with the multiverse. You're going to um, eventually you're going to secret. You're going to Secret Wars eventually, and you've got the grounded thing going. So when everybody says they don't really know what's going on, plus I was having a talk with Quentin Lee, and
Mm-hmm.
we were talking on Discord about this. You know, I was like, I'm eating this all up, but like Miss Marvel, I'm enjoying Miss Marvel. A lot of people are thinking it's too young for them, which I don't understand, because if you liked Spider-Man as a teenage, well, why don't you like a teenage girl? I mean, I don't understand. You could watch him in high
Right.
school, so you can't watch a girl in high school, because at 5 to 10 years, people go to movies all the time, going, enjoying a coming of age movies with comedies about a teenage girl, and they just, they go, oh, I love that Juno movie. I love Booksmart movie. I love this movie. I love this. Blah blah blah. Well, this is also a thing too. Okay, maybe that's not for you. Maybe Moon Knight was not for you. Maybe She-Hulk is not for you. But how many times do we go to the comic book store and maybe not everything in the rack is for you?
Right.
Do you
Absolutely.
not understand what Kevin Feige is doing now, people?
Right.
Go to Disney Plus, because this movie will be in Disney Plus in September.
Yeah.
It's like a news rack now. You're going to be able to pick up uh, anything. And now he's put you know he's putting the X-Men movies in there now, that they put the old Fantastic Four. We're going to get the MCU Fantastic Four. We're going to get MCU. I mean, spoilers, we're getting Hercules now. I
Yeah.
mean, we're getting all the toys in the toy box, but that's what you're going to do. You're going to pick up things that you're going to like and you're not going to like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Well, and
we're gonna,
I think for me, one of the things, like, speaking of Ms. Marvel, like, Ms. Marvel is kind of the example that honestly makes me want to start screaming, because I like Ms. Marvel. To me, if anybody's been here listening to what I've said, it's my favorite thing they've done, most entertaining thing they've done in the phase 4 of the MCU. This everything since Endgame, this is the most fun, entertaining thing they've done. They've lost their way because this show nails this character and who they are. As far as I mean, aside from the Inhumans thing, from the character, like, this is a good, fun, enjoyable character. It's fun, it's entertaining, and all those things. Where I look at all these other films and things coming out, I'm like, aside from, like, well, I guess, like, Shang-Chi, newer character, and even like the Eternals, new characters here, but like, they, all the other things, like the Spider-Man, the even the Doctor Strange, like, all these things, even Thor here, it doesn't nail these characters. I'm like, what's going on with these characters? And this isn't these characters. These are
yeah,
some, like, a Frankenstein of things that they put and said, this is Thor, this is Spider-Man, and that's really it. And that's what kind of, well, that like, that's what almost really upsets me, is like, how do they nail Ms. Marvel in that sense? They got the character right, they're doing all this stuff right, they're making it fun, they're making it entertaining, and that, like, the closest to fun and entertaining anything else we've had in the MCU. Like, I honestly feel has been like it's some of it mostly in the shows. Like WandaVision, I thought was really fun. Hawkeye, I thought it was decent. Moon Knight, it was. I mean, it was okay. But then we got Ms. Marvel now. I'm like, how is this like? It feels like the best thing that we've got. And even with the last couple of episodes of that have seemed to be not as good as the first few, but I think this last episode is going to be pretty good. Like they're nailing that fun and excitement and showing us who this character is and nailing, aside from the Inhumans thing again, nailing all that personification. Like they're doing this right. How are they not able to do this right with these other characters in this film? Like even Doctor Strange didn't even he felt a little off in Multiverse of Madness. I don't know. It's like I was saying in the review part. Like it feels like they've just kind of made everything a parody. With the exception
Well,
of the new characters, they're kind of concentrating a little bit on those.
well, I mean, I don't really feel that way with Thor, but I understand that. Um, a Doctor Strange, I can see that a little bit. I definitely kind of felt that way in the Spider-Man movie, the No Way Home. I kind of felt Doctor Strange was kind of a parody of himself a little bit.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from, but I thought they kind of nailed. I mean, they kind of do. They kind of change Thor, almost every movie, and this is just Ragnarok, even sillier, really. Um, and that's why I would like them to do Thor again, but maybe don't do it with Taika. But
right.
I don't know.
I like I said, I think Taika does some great stuff. Like if they had better writers for this film, I think he could be the right director for it. And like I said, somebody else there to tell him like, hey, okay, like this is going a little bit far. We don't need to do this. Let's go ahead and let's get the rest of this film shot. And have a plan with it. You can ad lib a little, but yeah, like I said, I mean his like he does some great things on screen and stuff like that. Really great stuff. But overall, like everything else, just kind of like it doesn't work here. Like this isn't the character. Like I don't feel
Well,
like
let
this
me
is
ask you
that.
this. Well, let me ask you this. From what I understand, there was a 4 hour edit, and he edited it under what 2 hours, and so there was a lot of things that were kind of clanky. There were
Yeah,
there were
I
there
don't
were
know about
two
all those things.
things.
When we hear those things, 4 hours of film, like I'm sure some stuff hit the cutting room floor, but like I don't think there was like ever a Snyder cut version of this film.
Well,
I think they just
there were
shot a bunch of
two
stuff.
there were two things. If I was going to nitpick, and I love this movie, but if I was going to nitpick, there was two things. And shout out to Chillmonger for what is it, Mama
Mama
Marvel
Saga,
or whatever.
yeah, the Mama
Yeah,
Saga.
she brought this up. They were supposed to make Valkyrie was supposed to have a love interest in this movie, and that got cut out.
Mm-hmm.
And she did say on stage that she was going to have, that she was the king and she was going to have a queen, and we didn't see that.
Right.
And another thing that I thought was kind of weird is spoilers, everybody, when we see Jane Foster and we see her about to get the hammer, um it cuts away, and
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. We didn't have to see her get the suit and everything. But next thing is Valkyrie already knows, apparently has already seen her with the suit and everything, because when Thor, it just seemed it just seemed kind of incoherent to me,
Right.
because it was really weird, because he's like, who's the new person, and she says, oh, you're really gonna like this one, or you're really gonna like her, or something
You're
like
gonna like
that.
the new guy.
Yeah, you're really
Yeah.
gonna like the new guy. So apparently she already knew, you know, who it was and everything.
Right.
So that just seemed a little incoherent, to me, a little bit. I don't know if they could have handled that differently or whatever, but I think that might have been cut for time or
Yeah.
something like that. Other than that, to me, I didn't have a problem. I knew it wasn't going to be a perfect movie. I knew that I was going to be entertained, and it had a little more depth to it than I thought it would.
Right.
So, but I'm going to let you go, so other people can come and yammer.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in, Mike Porter, sharing your thoughts and opinions. Always good to hear from you. I hope, man, I did see you post those pictures of when you were out in the mountains, and I'm a little bit jealous because the mountains I
That
have
was.
out here where I live at, it's desert.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean they're still covered. They're still kind of green and stuff in some points, but it's not like that.
Yeah, but it still looks cool though.
Yes,
I've seen them; they look cool. I love mountains. Any
absolutely,
mountains.
absolutely, and
All
and
right.
also here where I live at is kind of the desert too. So we're kind of
Yeah. That looks cool. All right.
yes. But
Thanks, man.
yeah, thanks for coming on, Mike Porter. Thanks for sharing your thoughts.
Okay.
Have a great rest of your
I'll
night.
be in the chat.
For sure.
Okay, bye.
Later. All right. And looks like Mike Porter was all we had. All right. Well, if there's any other channel members that want to call in, um, I'll probably go for I don't. You know what? I might only go for another 15, 20 minutes. But if there's any other channel members that want to call in, there's on the community tab. Go on there. You can do that. And I'm thinking maybe Sunday. I got to get together with Chillmonger on Sunday so we can do our Ms. Marvel talk, and we probably end up talking a little bit about Thor: Love and Thunder as well. But I will be doing that on Sunday. We'll sit down and record a video, and I may do another community stream here soon, and just make it just like a total community stream where we can get together and flap our gums about this, and maybe by then I'll have seen it a second time as well. Maybe I'll have seen it a second time in the movies. But let me get back here in the chat to see what everybody's saying. I see Justin Simone just showed up in the chat. What is up, Justin? Man, waiting for that Rippaverse, right? Yee! Man, yeah. I was out working, and I seen the live stream. I was like, oh shit, it's time already. Set your clocks for Monday. Monday, it's going down. We're only doing a new version of these OG characters. You know this man. Yeah. It was in the comics 5 to 10 years ago. Right. Jason Strope, thank you so much for being here. Brian McCann, aggressively relaxing. Ashley from The Widow, I seen you sneak in here. How are you doing, Ashley? I hope you're doing well. Let's see, who else? Landon, TLB, how are you doing? Jared Dyer, thank you so much for being here. Aglax is trolling me down in the chats. I see you, Aglax. I see you out there, you son of a... Aglax. The comic book G-Spot, my man. How are you doing? And let's see, Random Brad Creative was in here as well. I don't think I missed anybody. Scotty from Hawks Holocrons. All right. Yeah. Well, and speaking of which, guys, one of the things, like, oh man, what happened there? There we go. I'm not sure why that changed. Yeah. All right. in your different cultures, legends are magical, eternal jewelry therapy. Actually, it fits in there really good. Aggressively relaxing. I posted some shit on Twitter about the movie because here in Love and Thunder, they definitely set some more Easter eggs out there. We saw Bast out there. There was even the other. Oh man, what was the one of the gods that what's her name? Oh, Terawet. I guess she was the avatar for Terawet, wasn't she? Kind of the or no? Who was she? You know, in Moon Knight. Because we seen when they went to Omnipotent City, they were there and you could see the little wings, like the wings like what's her name had. They didn't even give her a name, did they? They didn't. From Moon Knight, they actually they had it in there. But then they also had some of the other gods in there, like you see the one that was all turquoise. That's definitely like the thing is like all these things they're doing in the phase. Like I noticed that through the Eternals and some of the stuff they're doing, and obviously the rumors we've heard about with Namor, they're going Mesoamerican here. They're definitely going into all of these different cultures and stuff like that. Going into world history, you can obviously see what they're doing with Ms. Marvel. I think they're going to be doing that same thing with Shang-Chi as well. And you know, there's definitely some interesting things that happened in this film, man. But let's see. But yeah, it definitely fits into there. It definitely fits into it, especially by the time you take and look. Like you even got like Zeus's thunderbolt. Like, come on, man. Yeah, it's all there. It's all there. It fits right in there. Simple versus Thor Blue. You know what? Honestly, remember my predictions last week that what was gonna happen in this movie is Thor was gonna suck Gore's wee. I was that close. My prediction was that close. It was that close. I think there was a point in this film where Thor was very close to saying whip it out so we can do this. It was close because I mean the overall theme of this film was love wins, right? Yeah. It was. But like I said, like I didn't hate this film. There's just things in this film I'm just like like you know what? Here's something. Here's something I didn't. You saw the god Scarlet Scarab avatars for. Yes, yeah, exactly that god because there was that you could see the little wings, like the little wings that she used. Like you seen them flapping in there. Has Trinity caught up with the chat? Yeah, absolutely I have. Skywalker Club, I feel like Jane Foster stole the spotlight of the title character. I didn't really think so, and that's the thing. Like. And I did like in my review, I didn't even really get into any spoilers in my review that I did earlier. But I will say that I thought the whole Jane Foster thing was done pretty good. I liked most of it, except for she did have a couple of cringe lines of dialogue. Like, oh my god, like you didn't have to say like I am the mighty Thor. Ah! Like you didn't like, but you also kind of knew they were going to like. I think there's still room for a certain cheesy element in films. Like, I think there's certainly that. And that kind of, like, if they would have... If they could have just, like, you know what? If they could just leave Thor as Thor, this would have worked out. If Thor was just Thor like he was in Kenneth Branagh's movie, in Alan Taylor's movie, if he was just Thor... A lot of this shit would work out if if Taika wouldn't do his Taika thing with Thor, this movie could fucking work out. Same as Ragnarok could have been better. He can still be the old Thor with Taika's movie. Totally. If he didn't have to be Jane. I feel like I'm going to grow an arm out my ass. Anyway, sorry. And like I was saying when Mike Porter was here, that's what makes me want to scream. Is because I look at everything, like some of these things, and it's like Thor is the most one that they've bastardized, man. Like, if they could just do Thor right, the rest of the film works. How can they make Ms. Marvel work? They nail this character and make this character likable. Ms. Marvel, I want to like this character. I like this character. What they're doing with Thor, they've completely bastardized him and turned him into a caricature of not even himself. They turned him into Peter Quill. And I don't like it. I don't like it. But, like, I'm telling you, if you took Thor from the first Thor film, the Thor from the Dark World, and put him in these last two fucking movies, they work 100% with that Thor. This Taika Thor just don't do it. This Taika Thor just don't do it. I call him sitcom Thor. I call him sitcom Thor. You know, and I feel bad because, you know I said, and it's not a term I use a lot, but I was like, they cucked Thor. You know what? They didn't. They didn't really. I don't think they cucked Thor, but they definitely turned him into a parody of Peter Quill, and it sucks. But I'm telling you, if they because like I said, the Jane Foster thing in this film, I thought worked. Jane was fucking great in this film, I thought, except for that scene when they first got out to Omnipotent City. And and she was walking up, like, was her whole head CGI'd there? Like, that shit looked oh god, that was fucking terrible. Oh god, that was terrible. Oh god, that was terrible. It made me cringe. It did. It really did. But also, again, I almost guarantee you that scene where they're sitting there walking through Omnipotent City and all that, this is where I want to know how much of this they shot on the volume, because it only further confirms a lot of the shit that I feel about the volume. If they shot that Omnipotent City thing on the volume and that shit, it actually looked pretty good. Again, during the daylight scenes, it was during the daylight thing. Every time, even when they got into the fights and everything later, in the film where they're in space and it's supposed to be space and all that stuff, and they're setting that, I'm telling you, like, oh, it just looks like it looks like they're shooting on a TV screen. It's when they do the nighttime thing and some of those different things. When they do daytime shit, it looks just fine, but like the nighttime shit, it just don't work. Out in space and it just don't fucking work. It's like you can see the glow from the lights of the screen thing that they're using for all this shit, and that's what sucks, is like you can see it looks like a screen. Like when I turn, like, when you turn on your screen, your TV, and it's just a black screen, it's just blank, but it doesn't look completely black, like you can see the light. Like there's a little bit of that glare there, like that's what it is. And I know you can get better TVs that have like the I can't remember what the ratio, but basically it's how black the blacks can get and all that stuff. Like even with like that, it's still you can tell. But I like the Jane Foster thing. And like I said, Valkyrie actually wasn't that bad in this film. And like Mike was saying about the Mama Saga thing, where she was talking about some of that stuff as well. It was like they didn't deliver on some of this stuff. Like she was talking about what's her name? Valkyrie was supposed to be in a relationship, and it didn't happen in this film. She even said, but that's the other thing too, is that they're actors, they're not the writers. So like I'll give them a pass on that one, because because Tessa Thompson said something, like, doesn't mean it's gonna happen. But the other thing is, it's coming in. Rumor is it's coming in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, in which we will see Valkyrie shipped with Captain Marvel. I did a video about gay Captain Marvel a little over a year ago. I've got another one I've currently been working on. I just got some other shit to shoot for it. But another gay Captain Marvel video getting ready to come out, because I have further confirmation that it's going to be happening. That gay Captain Marvel is coming. Carol Danvers will be gay. She will be in a relationship, and it's going to be with Valkyrie. Supposedly happening in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. But Thor hasn't changed the responsibilities he had when he first met him. He picked a fight. No, Thor, like, his personality's totally changed. Like like he didn't used to be silly sitcom. He like no. But people change. People change. Seasons change. You know that song? Yeah. From the 80s? Yeah. Rivers made me pick a fight with a realm and then flipped the table, winking at the crowd with his winged helmet. You are nuts. You know, I did, and that's what I'm saying. Like in the first Thor film, he was great. He was great. Like especially in the front, like that's what I'm saying, because he was being silly in the first one. Like he sat there when he walks into the like the little throne room there and everything inside in Asgard. He sat there like, yeah, he's all fucking flipping Mjolnir, like being silly. Yeah, it's great shit. DJ, pump up the volume. Oh man, Natalie Portman and Christian Bale were the best part of this movie. Well, like I said, I think here, like the thing is, like Skywalker Club. Vader part was my favorite thing. Filmed on the volume. Yeah, it looked like trash. Again, I'm telling you, like just because the volume doesn't look good. Like for the again, that scene. It looked better than some of the stuff looks pretty good. That scene actually it did look pretty good. But again, it's because there was a lot of shit going on and they did a lot of shaky cam and they did things there to make it work and make it look good, but there's other times where it just really doesn't work. It just really doesn't work. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Daytime stuff, it works good. Like when a lot of the daytime stuff, it works really good on because you can't quite see it. But like some of the other stuff, it just doesn't work that good. But no, it's like Skywalker Club. Like I think like Natalie Portman, I thought was great. Like again, I think all the actors that were in this film did like, of course, like Cord, but. I think the actors that were in the film, like even Tessa Thompson was actually pretty good in the movie. Just she wasn't in it for very long, and like that's really about it. Other than like just her character is kind of like I don't know, just kind of boring to me. But Lady Sif was in here. I thought it was great. We got a nice little appearance, and that was cool to see. But yeah, I think all the actors did good in the film. A lot of this film just wasn't. It's a Frankenstein. Like it seems like I don't know. It seems like well, even like Mike Porter said, like even Jane Foster. We even see her and we know they shot that shit because everyone remember all those scenes. Remember we seen that she was there. In this shit they were shooting, and they showed her floating in there. You could probably tell she's probably getting her powers and shit. They didn't show that. They shot it. We seen footage of it. So yeah. Now, and that was the come on. They built Patrick Stewart a hover chair. That's not lazy. What? Who said? What was that? What? For them to introduce the entire that's not how they introduced the mutants. Like that's only just that was only a tease for what they shown. Like they haven't really introduced the mutants or the X-Men yet. I wouldn't say that. Like I couldn't agree with that because I don't feel like they've introduced the mutants. Like they gave that little tease with Xavier. Like it's one of those things like if you know, that's really about it. If you don't, you probably found out. But I still don't even really think that's like an introduction or anything like that. More an introduction to the mutants or X-Men at all. I mean, because that if you know, and you'd find out. But that's really it. Like they're going to introduce them in their way in the MCU. It's going to be different. I don't think they're like I honestly kind of wonder how they're going to do the shit from Marvel TV, the Daredevil and all. I wonder how they're going to integrate that in because we can obviously see what they did in the in Spider-Man No Way Home, but yeah. The writers one of the writers was Taika Waititi. Lighthearted because of the series. Now, and here's the other thing. Like, I'm getting ready to end the stream here in just a minute. I gotta go. But here's kind of like my final thoughts. Like, the one thing that really kind of irks me about this film, and like, I want to do a video on this. And it's probably like, has Marvel gone tone deaf? Because in this film, and I kind of knew to expect that. You know, Taika Waititi even said this is the gayest Thor ever. It's gonna be the gayest movie. Blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, we get it, Taika. You like sucking peepees. It's okay. It's fine. Oh, right. Yeah, it's okay. You can do what you like. No judgment here. Like, people's sexual preferences and all that bullshit, I don't care about. To each their own. But I feel like Marvel has gone so tone deaf they don't even know. Like, I feel like they've turned into their enemies. Like, recently there was this controversy a couple of weeks ago with this What If Miles Morales comic book that got put out there, which by all means, everything I see in the comic book, I'm like is stuff that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I would take and easily laugh at. If I read this comic book, I'd probably fucking laugh at it. But the thing is, like, the crude, offensive humor, I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? Like what they did in this Thor comic, or in this What If Miles Morales Was Thor comic, was they went into some harmful racial stereotypes and shit like that. And that's fine. Like whatever. That's fine. Like, plenty of people did that, like, back in the day. You ever watch Mind of Mencia? That's fucking all it was. It was all this fucking kind of humor and shit, doing exactly like they did in this What If Miles Morales Thor comic book a couple of weeks ago. But the thing is, why it's so weird to me is that comic book, when it came out, that is exactly what Marvel and all its writers and all this fucking virtue signaling fucking stupid fucking bullshit that they've been doing preaches against. And then they went and they did it in this fucking comic book. And it's like, bruh, what the fuck are you doing? Like, they're sending mixed fucking signals here, right? With shit. Like I said, the humor and everything, I'm perfectly fine with that. But like, your guys' stance on everything is like kind of those harmful racial stereotypes and everything. It's kind of what you guys are kind of against and kind of been pushing back and talking about against, with all your trying to, I wouldn't say even pushing social agendas, but trying to, like representation and all that stuff, diversity, trying to do all that. And then you go and like, you're like, you the inclusiveness, like you're doing all that shit. And then you're going and turning in and putting out a comic book with all the harmful racial stereotypes. Oh my God. Fuck, like 15 years ago, Seth Rogen would have wrote this and been doing this shit in a movie and no one would have fucking cared. But that's the thing. And I feel like the same thing is going on in this movie. We also know about the Pixar thing recently with Chris Evans, those fucking dinosaurs that can't put up with a fucking gay kiss in this cartoon. Ugh. Now look, feel how like, I don't give a shit about that stuff, but my feelings on that, like, and the thing is, like, it's not like my kids have never seen some shit like that, but like, bro, it's a fucking cartoon aimed at kids. Like, what the fuck does that, like, it doesn't, like, right? But to each their own, whatever. I'll tell you one thing, like, my kids can watch it, whatever, when it comes on Disney Plus and shit. Not taking to fucking see that bullshit at the theater. They can watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus, because I'm not interested in seeing it whatsoever. And not just because the gay kiss, just because I'm not interested in the fucking movie. It's not Toy Story. That's my disinterest in it. But the thing is, like, again, kids movie, you're doing that, like, come on, man. But then here, like, we get, again, more of the tone deaf kind of shit. I feel like, what the fuck? We've got this shit, these kids in the film, like, and here's the thing, like, I won't go too hard on this because this film isn't advertised for kids. It's not aimed at children. All right. But you've got all the gay shit that they did in here. Fucking Korg, basically talking about two fucking guys getting together. The two guys make their own kid. Like, I know it's a different species, it's a different culture, right? The two men, oh. Right? Valkyrie with the little kiss on the girl's hand. And look, I'm not saying anything bad about promiscuous women or anybody who sleeps around or even guys or anything like that. Look, people go out there and do what you want. That's fine. But then you kind of got this hero there talking about her, her multiple, I'm just saying. Like, and again, people always come up with debates like, oh, well, Tony Stark. Like, yeah, I get it. But I totally get those arguments. I could completely do without any of the sex scenes and all that kind of bullshit and all the like. Look, I could do with all that. I want to see superheroes doing superhero shit, kicking ass, and you can tell some dramatic stories. All in the. I don't have to see him kissing. I don't have to see him fucking. I don't have to see any of that bullshit. Tony Stark, however, was a womanizer. That was kind of his thing. You kind of got to show that in a way. You kind of got to show that. Did they have to go and do the whole scene that they did with, Leslie Bibb when she was in there as Angie Everhart? Yeah, whatever. In there, like, did they have to do all that? No. You can probably get the point across without it. And I'm okay with that. But, like, some of this shit just seemed completely cheesy. Like, they didn't even give, kind of like we were talking earlier, they didn't even show us Jane Foster turning into, become Thor. Valkyrie is leaving on this mission. She's like, oh, she goes up and kisses this woman's hand. Like, what? Like, this is all just like, did you know this woman? Were you in love with this chick? Were you just wanted to, like, okay, fine. But again, this movie's not directed and aimed at kids. So, whatever. With the Korg thing and the gay shit and all that stuff, whatever. But then I have to ask why the kids turn into Thors and get the power of Thor and all that shit. And you got the kid with the cute little bunny and they all do their little weapon thing and all that shit. And like, so like you're appealing to kids. Children. Not kids. Children. You're appealing to children. It's not aimed at children. It's not advertised for children. They're not saying take your children to see this. Oh, it's a cartoon. It's not that. Like, but you make it appealing to children. You make it, you're doing, it's, again, I feel like there's just some tone deaf shit going on here. Not like they're necessarily, like, you could chop it up about agendas and all that bullshit all fucking day long. And, but the thing is, like, the tone deafness here, it just seems like, okay, like, again, when they do the thing with the thing, like the Thor comic book, like you're saying all this stuff is you guys actively speak out against this, the tone, like, and then you go and you put out this fucking comic book with all these fucking racial stereotypes. Like, the only thing you didn't have Miles in that book saying apparently was them calling each other the N-word back and forth. You know what I mean? Like that was really about it. And it's like and even that I can deal with. But again, it's tone deaf from this fucking company coming out and saying, like, oh, we're against all this bullshit. We're trying to be nice and inclusive and be welcoming to everybody. We don't like all these harmful racial stereotypes, but we're gonna go out and we're gonna put out this fucking book that does nothing but display all these fucking and I keep putting in quotes because to me, like, I don't give a fuck. You're gonna put out the harmful racial stereotype bullshit. Fucking who cares? People did that shit all the time back in the 80s, fucking 90s, fucking forever. And like, who cares? You know what? We're all different colors. We're all different races. Fucking get over yourself. It's okay. You know what? People said stupid and made fucking stupid racist remarks and shit when I was growing up. And you know what? Look, I'm perfectly fucking fine. I don't care. I'm not sitting there like, oh my God, the person's a fucking racist. They're the fucking Hitler. Give a fuck. It's the fact that the company is supposedly against this shit and speaks out and is against this kind of shit, and they do that. And then you go and you put all this gay shit in a movie that's arguably not for kids. But then you put all the shit in there to appeal to kids. Like, if you just want me to tell my kids that it's okay for them to suck dicks if they're a little boy, or tell my son, because he's like, if you want me to tell my kids it's okay to suck dicks, and you're a boy and you suck another kid's dick, and like if you're a girl and you like girls, and you want to like if you want me to if you want to tell that's okay, look, I don't need to tell them that, right? That's not a message I need to put out there. I would love my children no matter who the fuck they love and what they do, but kind of just putting it out there like, hey kids, it's okay to suck dicks. It's okay to eat pussies if you're like the same sex. It's like, blah, 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 blah. Like, at some point, there got to be a point at which you say that maybe where we're going is a little bit too fucking far. Like, I guess, how would you say? Like, you've gone, and this really has nothing to do with like political parties, but like you've gone so far, like you could say left, or you've gone so far left that you've become right, or you've gone so far right that you've become left. Like, that's the thing. Like, you've gone so far, like that's I don't know, and that's the thing. That's the thing about this, like, there's so many times I sit there and I see this shit, and I'm sitting there watching, and especially I get done with this movie that I didn't even hate. I don't dislike this film. It's just, there's some, like I said, I'm gonna go see it a second time. There's some cool stuff in here, but like, it just seems like a slop together mess that leads to something else that's probably gonna be some slop together fucking mess, unless they don't have Taika Waititi and some shitty writers on the fucking movie. Hopefully not fucking Michael Waldron. Shit. I'll take Jack Schaefer over Michael Waldron, please. But please just bring us back Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. People that are writers that want to tell stories, that like the characters that they are writing, that like the stories that they come from. Is that too fucking much to ask? If you just want to write stupid, sarcastic fucking bullshit humor, stick to fucking TV.